Hi guys, it's Tom. Sorry it's been so long. It's been like 5 or 6 months. I did my computer webcam was working on my other computer, but the airport card whatever died, so couldn't really do anything about that and couldn't upload videos. So, anyways, here I am. A couple months later, a lot of things to go over with you guys. Um, I work at a 7-Eleven, so I have a lot of regulars who come in and know my beliefs on everything that's going on, and they come in and print me out articles, just some things that are going on, and I even hang them up sometimes because I mean, the 7-Eleven's in the neighborhood, so I mean, everybody knows everybody, and I put up stuff to just show what's going on around the area. But I've been putting a lot of the conspiracy stuff up. Um, anyways, a guy came in today who usually comes in, um, and he told me about a story. I guess it's in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. There was, I guess, a elementary school girl who brought in a lunch from school. Um, and it was a turkey sandwich and whatever. It had like lettuce in it and whatnot, and she brought in like slices of cheese. Well, I guess it didn't meet to the standards of the Obama administration of what do they call it? Food group criteria, and it didn't meet to a lot of the expectations. So they forced her not to eat it. Mind you, this is at an elementary school, and instead made her get a school lunch in which she received um, chicken nuggets and French fries. I'm gonna try to find a link to this article and put it on the bar below. But this is insane. Um, and this wasn't a 10-year-old. This was a 4-year-old girl that they made her do this. It's insane. We're getting uh, really late in the game here for this kind of stuff. People need to start rebelling. People need to start doing whatever it takes. I don't care. The only way we're gonna overthrow this government is if we start to fight, whether it means physically, mentally, both. But it's just the only way to get through now. I always talk about the analogy of the frog in the water, and you heat up the water slowly. And next thing you know, the frog's cooked and the frog's dead. But the frog didn't even know he was about to die because you're turning up the temperature slowly. And that's what they're doing here. They're just passing bill after bill, and people are just getting accustomed to it, and they're not doing anything. A lot of people don't know about the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. It's been enacted since the 1950s and revised every year since then. Um, and this year is actually quite alarming. The 2012 revision just went over a bunch of things about counter terrorism and this and that. $662 billion in funding. Um, it's scary. Uh, but I guess they passed part of the NDAA that said you don't even have to be a terrorist. You can just be a person of suspicion. You could be a citizen of the U.S. and they can detain you without a fair trial. They can keep you indefinitely. Um, they did much the same in Germany before Hitler just took over. So kind of alarming that this is happening, and I'm willing to bet that $662 billion will go to the funding of getting rail cars to ship people in from places and eventually exterminating them. But we got a few more months, I think, until that. time frame. There's a couple of things that have to happen before then, i.e., shutdown of cable, internet, and once they do a complete media blackout and the shutdown of the internet, they will then segment off transportation areas. They will create roadblocks, barricades. Um, I will imagine that each FEMA region in the United States will be blocked off, kind of like their own separate countries. Then centers and camps will be put up in urbanized areas and in the center of the FEMA regions, and then the game begins. So we got a little bit longer for that to happen, but we're getting very, very close here. I'm just surprised that the country has not gone into complete anarchy. It just goes to show you that how asleep people are. It's really sad. It's pathetic actually, and nobody my age is paying attention to it. And if they are, they have the complete wrong misconception of what's actually going on, and most of them are just too brainwashed. So after oh yeah, and I'm guessing this whole thing will kick off. It's got to be something economically. Well, we know gas prices are going up, which are forcing people to stay closer to home, which they love because it makes people be more recluse, stay in. So, but the oil situation's completely there's so many different segments. This is such a multifaceted, big monster that it's almost impossible to tackle because it's just there's so much to it. All is what I know is that if you have to go outside with pitchforks and torches and start going down the street, that's what you have to do. I don't know what we're gonna do. It's just it doesn't make sense. A lot that's going on. I mean, we knew it was going to happen, but so word of advice to the wise out there that are actually paying attention. I would start to. I wouldn't. I wouldn't hunker down, I guess you could say, because they will when they start rounding up people. Um, you will have to, I would say, find survival gear, survival kits that can be kind of very lightweight. Um, have it in a backpack as always. Be prepared to be always on the move after all this takes place. Be prepared to carry weapons. Be prepared to do whatever it takes to protect you and or your family, because that's where we are headed. Now, the only thing that people are opposing is that how is this going to happen? We don't have enough forces to, let's say, take over the country. The only army that's big enough to take over our country is, say, China. Well, coincidentally, our relations with China are not too good, and we owe China a few things. Let's just say it like that. China's the only place that has an army of 200 million people. You put that up against the ratio of Americans, that's almost 1 to 1, or one soldier for every 1.2 persons. And since half the nation in the United States is overweight, guarantee for every 1 to 1 ratio people, the Chinese army is going to be having an upper hand on this one. So I can't say that it's going to be the Chinese army. Hell, I mean, for how sleep people are, wouldn't surprise me. An army of 200,000 could take over the entire nation, maybe even less. Um, it just all depends. I don't know. I could ramble on about this forever, but check out the article. I'm gonna also find another article about the National Defense Authorization Act, so I'll put that in as well. Uh, there's something else that's going on. I can't remember. I'll remember to put that in later too. Beware, be safe, and yeah, be safe.